Hey guys, just picked up the Zedi-10FX 4-channel USB mixer. Now, I've bought this to replace my old Zedi-10FX from Allen & Heath. I love these mixers and it is amazing. Seriously, here we go. That's the box, obviously. Now, if we have a look at the mixer itself, it's pretty cool. Now, in terms of size, it's actually a little bit smaller than the Zedi-10FX. I'll lug this over. It's actually a lot lighter too. As you can see, if I just pop that there, you can see that it is a little bit smaller and it is definitely lighter than the old Zedi-10FX. Now, in terms of the mixer itself and its performance, it's really clean. The USB interface is 2496. And it is 4 channels. So whereas the old Zedi-10FX was simply a stereo send and return, this is actually a quad send and return through USB. So you can record 4 sources at once, which is really cool for bands. If you're having a little bit of a jam at home with some mates, it just gives you a little bit more options and you don't have to do double tracking and recording. Now, looking at the mixer itself, obviously up the top on each channel you've got your gain. Now you've got a a line guitar switch here, and that's a high Z, and that's on channel M1 and M2. You've also got low cuts. Now running down you've got your high, medium and low EQ. Now they have dropped from the 10FX the mid selection, so that is no longer there, which is a little bit disappointing. I never really used it much, but it would have been nice to have that. Then on the channel strip you've got your aux send, which is really good for routing opportunities. You can use that to send to some monitors in your recording booth or whatever. Then you've got an effects send, and I'll get to that in a second. Obviously your pan and then your mix, and that goes down through to your main stereo mix. And then you've got your PFL, pre-fade listen switch. So that's your channel strips. Now the auxiliary and the FX send are both cool, and you can both route them through to your USB out, and you've got a few different selections here. Obviously with both switches off, it's just going to send all 4 channels through your USB to your DAW. However, you can select channel 1, channel 2 and your left and right send. That's really cool if you want to send these 2 channels exclusively, but then say you've got some effects running and you want to send that as well, you can actually send your final output at the same time. Now, your other option here is M1, channel 1, M2, channel 2, auxiliary and effects. And so what you can do there is actually route different signals from different channels through to your channel 3 and your channel 4 on USB, which is really, really handy. Now, over to the effects. The effects is really cool. On the old 10, Z10, they had this limited selection. I think there was 16 effects in total, and you just scroll through them with your up and down arrows, and you had tap tempo. On the new Zedi-10FX, what you've got is up to 90 different effects. Now the categories are delays, delay verbs, echo verbs, plates, halls, chorus doublers, flanges, phases, sympathies and gated verbs. And there's a massive selection. There's actually 90 effects because it only starts from 10. But you can basically scroll through all those and preview them, and they sound amazing, honestly. So you scroll through those, then what you've got is a parameter set. So while this button here is a tap tempo for all your time delays and timed effects, if you hold this button down, what it does is it changes the parameter of the effect that you're actually in. That's really cool. And that does different things depending on what effect you're in. It just generally increases or decreases the intensity or the strength of the effect, or the width or the depth, depending on what effect you're in. Yeah, so that's pretty much the mixer in a nutshell. What else is worth mentioning here? Okay, so there's no longer a stereo 3 channel on the old Z10. There was a stereo 3, I think. There was a playback in. Okay, so yeah, no. There was a playback in, left and right, and you could use that to send a channel through the mixer. That's no longer here, so you've got stereo 1 and stereo 2. And apparently, I haven't confirmed this because I haven't done it, but the stereo 2, if you plug something into there, that will cut off the USB 1 and 2 return, and it will basically replace that signal. So you've basically got 1, 2, 3, 4 inputs for either mics, guitars, or line. You've got a stereo input and a secondary stereo input as well. You've got your RCA for your monitors out, cool. You've got your XLR balanced for your monitors, and then you've got your aux out, your send, and you've also got your effects out, and you can pop a foot switch in there as well, which I assume controls the effects. Now, what else have we got on here? Okay, so you've got your effects to aux. You can actually send your post effects through to your aux channel, and you can send your stereo 3 to auxiliary as well. And basically what happens is, with the USB interface, the returns are through here. So I think, might be wrong on this one, but basically your 1 and 2 and your 3 and 4 from USB return are controlled by these knobs. Now the other cool thing about the Zedi-10FX is now you've got this sliding master volume control. Whereas on the old one, it was just a knob like that. Now you got a slider, which is really cool because you can just kind of reach over and bang. There's no twisty, it's just simple up and down. That's a nice little addition from Allen and Heath there. You've got an XLR monitor switch. Obviously you've got 48 volt phantom power, and your LED is now a 8 segment LED, which is sufficient, does the job. Whereas the old Z10FX had probably more, this one only has 8, but you know, that's pretty much all you need. And then finally you've got a phones control for your headphones volume control, and the same as on the Z10, you've got your